Hello everyone, Vermont Red Pill here. I'm just making this video because, I have subscribers. They might be wondering what's been going on, but mostly I myself haven't really known what was going on. I've already had so many health problems that it's not even funny, and I just could have been causing, like, the fact I have not felt well in over a month, maybe longer, and the usual things that made me happy weren't making me happy anymore, and I was just feeling wrong, depressed, disconnected. And I don't necessarily want to make this a whole video about mental health, but I was in a pit. I didn't know how to get out of it. Struggled really hard to try to figure out what was going on. I thought maybe I was smoking too much pot, to deal with my health problems. So I stopped smoking pot. I was really afraid I wouldn't be able to. I thought there was a possibility I might be addicted to pot. But I made a decision. I was like, I really don't like the way that I am feeling. I don't know how to get out of this hole that I found myself in. Socially, I have been just very distant, quiet. Haven't really reached out to my friends much. I don't really know what to say to them, like, hey guys, as usual, I'm sick. But you know what? On top of that, I'm just feeling really, really bad. And it's different. It's not physically bad. It's mentally bad, Who wants to hear that from their friends? Seriously, who? So it's been kind of lonely, and I've been thinking about making videos and everything, but almost like as an artist, when you have this type of lull within your soul, you just shut down. You don't have the creative spark. And for me, a lot of the time, the creative spark is what keeps me going. So when it dies, or when the desire to share creativity and art in my life and things that I've learned with other people dies or diminishes, it's like I'm not even there. I just have nothing to offer. So I'm making this video to reach out to you guys, and also just for myself, because I'm hoping that after I make this video that I will never have to talk about this subject ever again. So I'm just gonna take this off and put it on later. But this is pretty heated before, so here goes. Okay, well, like I said, I was feeling off, weird. Started having these nightmares, and there was no way to deal with it because I didn't know what was causing the nightmares. I didn't know what was going on in the nightmares. I just knew that somebody kept killing me, or I was really afraid of shadows on the wall, or scream. One of those nightmares where you're screaming at everybody, hey, they're gonna kill you, someone's gonna kill us, almost like the apocalyptical ones, the ones that I'm talking about. So I'm having these nightmares. I'm not able to get rid of them. They're not helping me, like, get through the day anyway. I'm getting less sleep, and I'm just feeling like I'm going crazy. And I thought the one thing that I could do was to stop smoking pot. And I'm really proud that I have not smoked pot since I made that decision. Unfortunately, that is not what was going on. So that's a bonus that comes out of this. However, that was not what was going on. And the thing that was going on was actually trauma from my past that I really haven't dealt with, didn't want to deal with, didn't really know how to deal with. It's a different type of trauma than the trauma of being in an abusive relationship, or, having problems when you're a kid, or the normal trauma that I'm used to. Like even the trauma of having endometriosis, or all these different health problems, not knowing what's wrong with you, being told by the doctors there's nothing wrong with you, it's all in your head. Those traumas the ways that I coped with those traumas didn't work for this particular situation. I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And then there was I watch Asmongold, and he was talking about a streamer that he knows, Pokimane. And this streamer is having an issue because she knew this guy, David, or Dave Forvid, or he's a singer that brutally murdered a girl that he was, like, dating, and she was actually very young when they first met. They were playing Fortnite and she was like 10. So they started having a relationship when she was like 11, he was like 15. So this was going on for a long time. Some people knew about it, most people didn't. But David started to like blow up business-wise. Like he started on TikTok, making his own videos, making his own music. I had never heard about him until, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. So this guy actually was on stream with Pokimane and playing games with her and talking and joking and laughing. And Pokimane is traumatized by the fact that she knew David, the guy that murdered the 14-year-old, put her body in the car for a while, and then went off on tour. Yeah, because his name is just blowing up there. So he was going on like tour, opening for Coachella. I'm not opening for Coachella, but playing at Coachella. You know, his career was taking off. Meanwhile, he killed a girl. She is laying in his front trunk of his car, just decomposing. And he's partying, having a great time. It didn't really seem to affect him at all. But the car eventually was towed into like an impound lot because nobody was doing anything with it, right? He wasn't there. He wasn't going to be dealing with this car. Plus, he knew what was in it. So they opened up the car because people were like, it stinks around here. You know, there's bugs and flies and all of that. And yeah, so they find a 14-year-old girl's body. Her name was Celeste. And, you know, people didn't really know what happened to her, but the car was registered to David. So, you know, they're starting to put 2 and 2 together. Meanwhile, a lot of people that love David are saying, no way, this has nothing to do with him, couldn't possibly be. And it's probably one of those people was Pokimane, the girl that had, you know, played games on stream with him and was friendly with him. And David's been arrested. Like, he's in jail now, and he will probably be in jail for the rest of his life for stabbing a 14-year-old girl and just, like, leaving her body in the car. And I heard that I heard that he stabbed her twice and then watched her bleed out as she died. Make sure she was dead. That kind of person. Complete psychopath. Probably planned this out ahead of time because it looks like Celeste wanted to tell people about their relationship and then basically say, yeah, he's been sleeping with me since I was 11. And it's not gonna, in this world where everybody hates pedos, because why wouldn't you? Having this girl expose David, who's becoming, you know, this big star, as a pedo, who first got in contact with her when she was 10, that was gonna probably ruin his career, right? I mean, it would at least put a dent in it. He would probably go to jail for a couple of years for it. But it's no reason to murder somebody. However, for him, you justify, the ends justify the means, right? You want to go off and be a big superstar. Nobody will ever find this body, right? This guy, very talented, not very smart. Anyway, I don't want to get into too much information about David, but this is about Pokimane. So Pokimane having a really tough time dealing with her feelings that she knew David, thought David was harmless, a nice guy, creative, maybe a little weird. You know, he was like homeschooled, so there's all sorts of different things you could say, you know, as to why he might give you like a kind of weird vibes, right? Just shake them off. Well, when Pokimane was talking about this, I just had like an epiphany, and it was that I had learned about this David stuff. Like I said, a couple months ago, I heard about it, and I watched some videos on it, and it definitely freaked me out, but I never put 2 and 2 together, like this possibly could be causing me to feel the way that I felt, this heaviness that I have felt, this lack of desire to do the things that I normally love. I didn't put 2 and 2 together because why would I, right? Well, I had my own encounter with a David. His name was Brian Rooney, and this was back when I was like 16, 17 years old. In Winooski, Vermont. And Pokimane's situation with David, I was sympathizing with her because of what I went through knowing Brian Rooney, who later went on to murder Michelle Quinn Gardner, a UVM student. This is back in the mid-2000s. She was downtown Burlington and she needed to use someone's phone. She has to use Brian Rooney's phone. Then she disappeared, and her body was found, I believe, in the gorge. Everybody was looking for her. Everybody was worried.